and welcome back to the final video in the Jean Bechtel School for Music series of tutorials on how to play the violin part of our Tightrope Themes book of one-string etudes for violin and piano. I am Taylor Bennett, and today I am going to be taking you through song number 8, you've almost made it, of this entire book of etudes. Now this is called The Roaring Bonfire, and it is going to also be played on our E string if you've been following along through our series. However, unlike the previous song we did, which was in E major, this tune is going to be played in E minor. So what that means for you is that you now have a low second finger. So first and third fingers are going to be on your tapes. Second finger is going to be a low with only a half step between it and that first finger. So watch out for that new fingering pattern. Also take note that we have a new time signature. We are back in 3/4 time, so 3/4, counting 1 and 2 and 3 and. Make sure to be counting for those eighth notes. We're going to be seeing some dotted quarter notes, single eighth notes, and some measures of solid eighth notes. So really keep that subdivision going in your head. All right, let's go ahead and look at our first phrase. It begins forte, so you're going to play it nice and loud. Now this section is going to be repeated, and you'll notice in your music that it tells you that on the repeat, you're going to be playing piano. So very loud the first time, very soft the second time. All right, let's go ahead and hear from the beginning. Those first few measures. So we're starting on open E. We're going to play E, 2, E, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, E, 1, 2, 3. So we're really just going to be, with the exception of our first two notes, going from open E to second finger. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of just stepping up, right? 1, 2, 1, E. So it's very kind of step by step, just following up and down. Go ahead and listen to that one more time. I am going to be moving on. Now again, we're going to kind of step up just to low 2, but now we're going to see some of those eighth note figures. So this is going to be an entire measure of eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then we get a break with quarter notes in our next measure, and then another measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and on those eighth notes. So take a listen. Good news for you, the two measures with those eighth notes are going to be exactly the same. So you really only have to learn one and then just play it again. We're going to begin on second finger, 2, 3, 2, 1, E, 1. Again, there's going to be a lot of kind of up and down. You can see how the notes are just going up, down, back up a little bit. It's very flowing. So just really pay attention to that, make it nice and smooth. So again, I'm going to play it slowly. We have 2, 3, 2, 1, E, 1. Now the first time through, you're going to play quarter notes. Open E, first finger. We're going to skip over second finger and end with third finger in that measure. Then you play your eighth note figure again. This time it's nice and easy. You're going to end on a dotted half note. Now repeat and reset. I'm going to play it all the way through as if it's the second time, piano, and then I am going to continue on. All right, back up to forte. This is our new section. So we don't see any eighth notes here, nice simple quarter notes. We're going to begin with third finger on the E string, then go to open E, 1, E, then back up to third finger, low 2, and end on a dotted half note with that first finger. Listen one more time, I will continue. I'm going to be playing softer now, pretending that this is the repeated section. Finish like this. you're looking at your music, you're going to notice in those last two measures I just played that you have several what we call accidentals. This is where the composer inserts an accident or corrects a sharp or flat that they don't like and they want to change it up. So I told you, oh look, we're going to have low twos. What did the composer do? They threw in a high two or a regular two. So that is going to be a G sharp on your second finger tape. But starting from 18, we're going to have E1, E. That's normal, then it's going to change. Now you're going to play low 1 for that F natural. Then you're going to scoot low 1 back up to play an F sharp. Now low 2 for G natural. And we're going to finish on G sharp, so regular second finger on your tape if you have one. And then there would be a reset after that as we moved into the repeat. Those two measures are actually an example of what in music we call a chromatic scale, in which every note is played. We're not skipping any, we're going to be playing all in half steps all the way up. Thankfully, you only have to do it for 4 notes. All right, let's continue on, pretending that we've done the repeat. So this is going to be measure 21. And we're going to introduce another new tempo figure here, another new rhythmic figure. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So this is where we're going to have that dotted quarter note. Again, this is a song that I would really recommend clapping and counting before you play it the first time. So let's hear what this sounds like. Measures 21 and 22. We have that 1 and 2 and 3 and we're going to play our first measure 1 2 1. Second measure is going to go 1 3 2 1. And then we're going to finish off with some nice quarter notes and dotted half notes. E2 E1 2 1 E1. And that's how we end the section. All right, let's move on and let's look at our final section here. You're going to notice a lot more eighth notes, and lucky for you, they are going to be the same fingering pattern that you had at the kind of at the beginning, kind of middle-ish, however you want to say. You had it earlier, that's all that matters. So you already know how to do it. 2 3 2 1 E1. Let's just go ahead and listen from measure 27 through the end. That 2 3 2 1 E1 figure 3 more times. We start with it, and then we're going to be walking up from E1, skip over second finger, third finger. So the second time we have that eighth note section, we are going to have a poco ritardando, which is Italian for a little bit of slowing down. So just kind of lean into that. If you're playing with the pianist, of course, talk with them and determine how much you're going to be slowing down. Now your next note is a second finger, low 2, and it has what we call a fermata over it. Now a fermata means you're going to hold this note as long as you want, or if you have someone who's directing you, as long as they want. Then we see an ah tempo, which means we are going to go back to our normal tempo. And we're going to end on that open E. All right, let's hear how the entire song sounds when put together with the piano accompaniment.